That was a terrible description because I don't really understand what's going to happen. Who sets things on fire? As you do. That's quite got a good flop to it too. Who knows? That is a unknown aspect. I'm terrible at giving descriptions for books that I don't know what they're about. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Kizzy and today I'm going to be doing my top 5-star predictions of 2022, kind of. It's not really just 2022, it's kind of just upcoming books that I want to read rather than just within the year because I don't really have a very set 2022 reading goal. I have more shorter TBRs that I want to read and books that I want to read now, and I'm going to predict which ones are 5-star reads. I've done 2 of these videos before, and whilst I think I've read everything from the first one, and in the second one I then reviewed those ones and then made more predictions, I have not read the other 5-star predictions. I think I've only read maybe 1 or 2 of those books. One of them was definitely not a 5-star. I can't remember what the other one was right now. And the other books in that aren't really what I read anymore or at the moment, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. So I thought I'd just make a new one. We're going to go basically books that people have recommended to me that I trust their opinion on, so I hope greatly that I will also like these books, but we'll see. The first one I have is The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. I literally just looked on Goodreads and there are some kind of controversial opinions on it, and one by a YouTuber that I don't really like her reviews a lot, so I'm not too worried about it. But this was recommended to me by a friend who said that she thought it was very like Brandon Sanderson. As far as I'm aware, there's not much giving away on the synopsis, and I don't like to know a lot about books before I go into them. I much prefer knowing as little as possible. I hate spoilers. I hate really knowing what's going to happen, apart from kind of just a general direction knowledge. Otherwise, you do feel a little bit lost. Going off the blurb, we follow this man called Guile, who is the most powerful man there is. He seems to have reached kind of the top of where you can go. He is a priest and an emperor and just is the all-powerful. He's won a war, so, you know, he's doing well for himself. Apparently he is the prism. I don't know what the prism means at the moment. Who knows? That is a unknown aspect to the book at the moment, but apparently prisms are fragile. It's going to break at any moment, and he then discovers that he actually has a son, and this apparently is some kind of threat to his all-ruling power. I don't think he's bad. I think he's one of keeping the peace. You know, he's a good guy, so he wants to keep the peace, but this knowledge that he has a son is some kind of threat. Maybe it's, I don't know, honestly no idea what this son's going to do, but people don't like sons when it comes to power. It's kind of a common trope when you've got like thrones or like people of power. You know, if there's a blood relative, they need to die. So he has to go on a journey to kind of like see whether or not he can keep the power that he's made and the peace that he's created after winning this war, whilst also his son being there. That was a terrible description because I don't really understand what's gonna happen, nor do I want to know. But it's obviously been a very popular book. It has sold apparently over 2 million copies in paperback or physical print, and it's a trilogy, so it's, you know, it's a chunky book, I have to say. It is 700 plus pages. It was published in 2010, so it is relatively old, but not too old. I really hope I like it. I feel like I want to. Obviously, you don't go into reading books that not wanting to like them, but I really do want to like this one. Some people on the comments DNF'd it, saying that they didn't like the writing style, but hopefully that's not the case. I am a little bit picky with writing style, so we'll see. It seems to be written in third person, which is always a bonus for me. We'll find out how that goes. Next on the list, we have Malice by John Gwynne. I have 2 of his books. I have this book and the first book in his newer series, The Shadow of God. It's behind me, but I can't see it because I haven't got my glasses on, so maybe you can in the camera. But it's that other bleh. But I have his 2 first books in the series. I have not read either of them, mainly because I bought the Shadow of the Gods one because it has a dragon on it, and I was like, that's really cool, I want to read this. And then I realized he had another series that he'd written before that, and I do think it's kind of good to read authors' work in chronological order, that they published them or that they wrote them. Jeez, English. Just because they do tend to get better naturally as they go forward. So I don't want to read something that I absolutely love and then go back and just be disappointed because I expect the same kind of quality and level. Whereas if I go for a slow kind of build up, I expect to love it more as I go. As my love for the author grows, I expect to love their work as their work grows themselves. But I do think this will be a very good book. Anyway, I do think it will be a 5-star read, if not a very high 4-star. I really hope it. If it's less than that, I would be severely disappointed. This kind of just seems like a very typical fantasy. We've got a coming-of-age boy who looks to war, wants to be a warrior, and is put through challenges and trials as he kind of reaches manhood. We have Wyrams, I always say that wrong, I always say rims, but I think it is white rims. There's giants, there's a war going on, there's clashings of these giants. There was peace, but they're coming back. We've got priests and kings and gods and all this kind of stuff. We've got 2 warriors fighting each other, battling it out. So there's a lot going on with this. I mean, even the cover, you can see that it's kind of very kind of medieval, Arthurian vibes going on. And I have faith in John that he's going to be a good read. I hope he doesn't let me down. People love this as well. Like, this is another firm favorite in a lot of people. We constantly have like a good sturdy supply of this in the shop, which is always good when it's a book that's been around for first published in 2012. So again, it's 10 years old now, but I feel like it's still going to be a good one. That's a testament. If it's lasted 10 years and it's still being sold today, I have faith. So the next book I have is The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams. This is recommended me to my friend. I said I would read it a very long time ago. I've still yet to read it, but he raved about it. So I have faith that this will be a good book. It seems quite funny from the blurb. We have a main character who doesn't want to die. Basically, he's not going to wait to die whilst his whole empire is kind of crumbling and world around him is crumbling. So he gets offered a job to kind of escape this death. They are joined by a fugitive witch on this hunt or this job or something who sets things on fire, as you do. And I think they have to go and fight monsters and stuff like that. I'm terrible at giving descriptions for books that I don't know what they're about, which makes sense, but also I should probably be better at this. But I hate knowing what they're about. I think this would be just a good kind of adventure book. You know, it sounds like you've got a little bit of a found family thing going on there with people coming together. You know, you've got the fugitive, you've got the lady, the eccentric explorer, Lady Vincenza Vintage de Grazon. I don't know why I said that French, but there you go. So we've got Tourmalin, who's obviously, he's called the Oathless, so he has no oaths. He's very feeble or fickle, perhaps, who doesn't want to die. And then we've got the fire-setting witch. So a little bit of a found family going on there, but apparently not everyone is willing to let everything else crumble and die and dissolve. They're pulled into a tangled conspiracy of magic and war. So it does sound actually a lot of fun. I'm excited. Adrian Tchaikovsky is quoted on the front as well. Now I've read the blurb, I kind of want to read this more. It seems a little bit more lighthearted than I expected. I don't know what I thought it was going to be because I can't remember at all what Gavin said was the plot when he described it to me. It was enough to make me pick it up, but apart from that, I have no idea. That's quite got a good flop to it too. I think it looks like it's a quartet on the back. Oh, Winnowing Flame trilogy. It's a trilogy. I don't know why there's 4 books on the back. Maybe she has another one. So yes, excited to get to that one. It sounds fun. It sounds a little bit more lighthearted than the books I'm currently reading, which is what I need at the moment. So maybe that's why I'm feeling more drawn to it. Don't know if that's correct or not. Find out for when I've read it to actually know what this is about. But hopefully this will be a 5-star read. So next on this we have Jade City by Fonda Lee. This is one of my friend's favorite books. Like, she was obsessed with it. When she read it, she came in the next day in work and she'd bought loads of like jade things. So like, she was obsessed with it. She already bought the memorabilia for it. It's described on the back as a Hong Kong gangster film taking place in a fantasy metropolis, which sounds so cool. The city is run on it's run on jade. It is the lifeblood of the city. It enhances a warrior's natural speed and agility, and it is mined, stolen, traded, and kind of ruled by 2 families who are equally as bad as each other, basically. Then some kind of drug comes into the scene that allows anyone to be able to use this jade, I believe, even foreigners. So it kind of stirs up everything, and it all goes, like, the whole system and economy that uses the jade is just kind of like thrown into haywire. That's what it is. It sounds very good. It is another trilogy, I believe. She's got another book coming out this year at some point, or I don't know what it is exactly, but it's not to do with this, but she does have another book coming out. But it sounds a little bit like, I think it's going to be like a family drama, gangsters, you know. It sounds like we've got some tension going on. It's another relatively short one. Actually, I kind of need at the moment. I'm reading some chunky, heavy books, so this will help a lot, I think, kind of just move up my little bit of a reading slump I'm currently in as a different kind of fantasy. So yeah, excited for this one. I do think it will be a 5-star. Like, this is one of the ones I'm pretty sure will be a 5-star read. Don't know why I quite haven't picked it up yet, but I'm less doubtful about this one than I think any of the other ones in this list. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm not wrong. So the next one I have is one that is heavy. It's actually very heavy for a book. I don't know why, but I felt that when I lifted that up. This one sounds like How to Train Your Dragon, but in adult book form. So it's about a boy who was meant to always just kind of like wash pots in a kitchen, be dutiful that way, kind of just do his job, just plod along life, live the mediocre way, and be happy about that. However, there is dragons and dragon riders in his world, and he soon discovers that dragons are actually very ruthless and they kill off the weakest person in their group. So like if a dragon gets injured, they will just kill it off because they don't need that weighing them down. So when he discovers that he actually saves this blind dragon, there's an egg involved and he has to protect the egg and the blind dragon, and he must kind of tap into his ancestral dragon riding magic abilities, and something happens with that. So as I said, it's kind of like How to Train Your Dragon without the Vikings. I don't think they're Vikings, but there is a dragon that is injured and needs his help, and he has to protect it, and I don't know what that means in the grand scheme. I don't know how dragons fit into his world, whether or not there are dragon riders at the moment. I don't know. There's not really much that gives that away. He just has one chance to survive. He must cultivate the mysterious power of his dragon's magical core, a unique energy which may tip the balance in the battles to come. What those battles are, though, it does not mention. And prove to the world that a servant is worthy after all. So there we go. We have that one. I'm excited for this because I love How to Train Your Dragon. The film is phenomenal. The books are good too, but the film is phenomenal. It's very rare that a film is better than a book, but I think that one does do it. And this, I hope, will be just as good as that. It's 530 pages. It feels heavier. I think it is self-published, so it kind of has that thickness of self-published books. But yeah, another 5-star prediction. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know what your 5-star predictions are. If you read any of these and gave them 5 stars or did not give them 5 stars, I would be very interested to know, because obviously that would help. Or maybe just make me more tentative or excited to read them. Who knows? If you'd like to see any more of my videos, please do like and subscribe. I do post ones every Sunday at 10 a.m. and I will see you in the next video very soon.